Game Freak has introduced a plethora of grass types that have been useful to trainers, but there is one grass type that still underperforms. Even after receiving a Mega Evolution in Generation 6, its base form is still overlooked by many to this day. I'm going to remedy the issues of this Frost Tree Pokemon, starting with its typing, which is a primary reason for its downfall as a viable option. Defensively, Grass is a great typing to beat, as you resist other common attacking types such as Ground, Water, Electric, and itself. However, its secondary typing being Ice leaves a lot for it to be desired. The positives that a Grass type has going for it are now undermined due to Ice being a horrible typing in terms of defense. Because of all of this, Abomasnow has a whopping 7 types that it's weak to, one of them being a 4 times weakness in Fire. Surprisingly, I'm not changing its typing whatsoever. It's classified as an Icy Forest Tree Pokemon, and it clearly resembles one in the games and in the anime. Instead, I'm going to be working around its typing to improve its viability, and with that, I'll start by removing an unreliable ability, Soundproof, which only grants immunity to niche moves such as Hyper Voice, Metal Sound, and Sing. Sap Sipper will now be its replacement, and one reason as to why I'm doing so is for the power increase. Abomasnow has access to strong stab moves that can take perfect advantage of the attack buff that Sap Sipper gives. It can now more reliably run a physical set of attacks, with moves like Earthquake, Ice Shard, Ice Spinner, and Woodhammer being staples for its moveset. Lastly, in regards to its abilities, I'm giving it a third one in Water Absorb. As mentioned before, Abomasnow is a tree-themed Pokemon. Therefore, giving it HP recovery from this ability is also crucial as well, being that it gets worn down fast by attacks and secondary field effects such as Spikes or Stealth Rock. Also, I'm not going to be touching its original ability in Snow Warning, as it's honestly just a perfect fit. With its 2 new abilities in Sap Sipper and Water Absorb, trainers can now be inspired to use an Abomasnow on their team due to its longevity being drastically increased. Shifting over to its stat values, it's clear to see that Abomasnow suffers from being just average at best. To add on to the ability changes that I made previously, I'm going to buff its attack to base 115, which as mentioned before, will allow trainers to now use Abomasnow as a reliable physical attacker. Its defenses are going to have interesting changes as well, and I'll first be lowering Abomasnow's speed by 20 points to invest those stats into HP. My fixed version of Abomasnow now has base 110 HP alongside an extra 10 points added to each defensive stat. I chose to reduce its speed so it can be better oriented for Trick Room teams, as its original speed of 60 is an awkward one. Base 60 means that it won't be faster than the majority of Pokemon to damage them first, and alongside that, it's also sometimes not even slow enough to take advantage of something like Trick Room itself. To further enhance it though, its physical split will now be welcoming the addition of Leaf Blade, Power Whip, and Ice Hammer. The special split will now include new options in the form of Leaf Storm, Frost Breath, and Aurora Beam. For any trainer who decides to run a more supportive variant, Strength Sap and Grass Whistle are 2 moves that I believe should be in its learn set, stemming from the ideas and dex entries of it being a coniferous tree. With a boost to almost every aspect of its design, this new base version of our tree friend Abomasnow can now represent its true potential in both the competitive and playthrough scene of Pokemon. Also, leave a comment describing your changes to Abomasnow that you'd like to see, as I'm curious to see your perspective on this Pokemon. Thank you guys!